Detectif Astral, Mahabharata, Part 3. This tale does not begin with the clash of swords, but with the rattle of dice on a gaming board. A seemingly friendly invitation from Hastinapura arrived at the gates of Indraprastha, the magnificent palace of the Pandavas, a paradise on earth. Yet, behind the smiles and sweet words of the Kauravas lurked a venomous envy. The splendor of Indraprastha, a marvel beyond compare, ignited a fire of resentment in Duryodhana and his brothers. They had once felt humiliated there, and now they sought a revenge that would tear the Pandavas' honor to its roots. Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, the embodiment of dharma and righteousness, was their primary target. Wise voices, even mystical whispers from higher realms, warned him. "Do not go," they urged. "It's a trap. Your virtue will be mocked." But Yudhishthira had one flaw, one mortal impulse that made him human. He loved the game of dice. He believed in the honor of a kshatriya, unaware that his opponents had discarded honor long ago. Thus, the game began. It was not a contest of skill, but a cruel spectacle of deceit. With every roll of the enchanted dice, manipulated by the cunning Shakuni, the Pandavas' wealth crumbled like sand slipping through their fingers. Treasures, palaces, even his own brothers, Yudhishthira wagered and lost them all. At the peak of his blind desperation, he staked Draupadi, their shared wife. Their honor was shattered in an instant. Sri Krishna, the divine charioteer, watched it all with a heavy heart. He could have intervened, but this lesson had to unfold. Like a glass filled with murky water, the human soul can only hold so much negative energy before it overflows. The Pandavas had to taste the fullness of suffering, to learn the peril of ignoring their inner voice and the importance of saying enough. The punishment was decreed: 13 years of exile, 12 years in the merciless wilderness, and a final year in absolute disguise. If they were discovered in that 13th year, the exile would begin anew. The curtain of the palace's grandeur was lifted, replaced by the unyielding stage of the wild. Those accustomed to the finest feasts now survived on strange, sometimes poisonous, fruits, enduring only through unseen divine intervention. This exile was not mere punishment, it was a crucible. There they were forged. Their physical strength was tested, their brotherly bond strengthened, and their wisdom honed by suffering. Amid the harsh forest, Arjuna, the peerless archer, embarked on the most extraordinary journey. It was not his body that traveled, but his consciousness, soaring through dimensions to Indraloka. There, in a spiritual training akin to a near-death experience, he was bestowed with Pasupati, a divine weapon of immense power. It was not just a bow and arrow, but a key to understanding destiny and karma. The 13th year was a held breath, the greatest test, even for Sri Krishna, who admitted to feeling immense tension watching them from afar. The Pandavas, noble princes, had to shed their identities. Yudhishthira became Kanka, a royal advisor skilled in dice, an ironic twist. Bhima, the mighty, became Baleva, a palace cook who loved wrestling. Nakula and Sahdeva became caretakers of horses and cattle. And Arjuna, the hero, lived under a curse as Brihanala, a eunuch dance teacher, concealing his strength behind graceful movements. They lived in constant vigilance, ever at risk of being recognized by the Kauravas' spies. At the final moments of their sentence, the veil was lifted. The Kauravas found them. With deceit, they declared the agreement void. All the suffering of 13 years was deemed futile. The seeds of war they had long sown were now ready to be reaped. The exile was over. The Pandavas returned, not as defeated princes, but as whole beings, having touched the depths of despair and risen with newfound strength. They had learned life's most costly lessons. Yet, on the horizon, the dark clouds of the Kurukshetra war loomed, ominous and threatening. This, the darkest tale, was merely a prelude to a far longer night.